The quiet village, in a small, forgotten village nestled between two great mountains, lived a boy named Shahzain. Life in the village was simple. People woke up with the sun, worked hard in the fields, and went to bed early. But Shahzain was different. While others were content with what they had, he dreamed of touching the skies, quite literally. Since he was a child, Shahzain had an obsession with airplanes. He would lie in the grass and stare at the sky, watching the planes soar above the mountains. "One day, I'll fly," he'd whisper to himself, eyes full of hope. But dreams were a luxury in the village. Shahzain's family was poor. His father worked as a carpenter, and his mother sold vegetables. Most days they could barely afford meals. Despite the odds, Shahzain studied hard. He walked 5 kilometers each day to the nearest school, often barefoot, sometimes hungry, but always determined. At 16, he applied for a scholarship at the National Aeronautical Academy in the city. He passed the written test but failed the interview. Why would they choose a poor boy from the village, he thought, heart heavy. But his father, who had always been a man of few words, put a hand on his shoulder and said, "Son, failing once doesn't make you a failure, it makes you human. Try again." Those words lit a fire in Shahzain. He would try again, harder, better. At 18, Shahzain left for the city with a borrowed suitcase and a heart full of ambition. He worked part-time in a tea stall to afford night classes in physics and mathematics. He lived in a cramped room with 2 other boys, ate once a day, and spent nights studying under a broken bulb. Every day was a battle. People laughed at his accent. Professors doubted his background. "You'll never make it to the sky," one of them once said. But Shahzain didn't reply. He simply smiled because deep down he knew he didn't come this far to stop. This pilot from the mountains has a message for you. Shahzain's story started like a dream. He wanted to be a pilot, but after the first year of training, he had to take a break. The next year, he tried again, and again, and again. But it wasn't until the 4th time that he finally made it. He was accepted into the pilot training program. It wasn't magic, it was blood, sweat, and sleepless nights. He trained for months. Days started at 4 a.m. and ended at midnight. But for Shahzain, it wasn't hard. It was home. He graduated top of his class, a record no village boy had ever achieved in the academy. On his first official flight as a co-pilot, the aeroplane hit a terrible storm. The lead pilot lost control. That's when Shahzain took over. Calmly and professionally, he guided the plane through the storm. He landed the plane safely and became a hero overnight. Years later, Shahzain returned to his village, not as a barefoot dreamer, but as a pilot in full uniform. He built a school and started scholarships for poor kids, and he often told his story. He would say, "The world will test you. People will doubt you. Even you might doubt yourself. But remember, it's not where you start, it's how far you're willing to go."